Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding the hidden biological operating system that literally dictates your energy, your stress levels, and your very survival. We're completely shifting away from this outdated idea of psychological failings. Instead, we're going to reveal a true masterpiece of physiological adaptation. We're talking about the invisible forces that actively shape your resilience, your longevity, and your peak human performance. Let's start by shattering a huge illusion that so many of us hold. This idea that you can just think your way out of a trauma response. It just doesn't work. We need to start treating our physical symptoms not as these random annoyances, but as vital clues to a much deeper biological mystery. Seriously, what if your racing heart and that churning feeling in your stomach aren't just reactions to anxiety, but actually the very source of it?
Part 1. The Hidden Operating System.
So prepare for a massive paradigm shift here. A staggering 80% of the nerve signals in this hidden system actually travel from your body up to your brain, not the other way around. 80%. Meaning your body is talking to your brain way, way more than your brain is talking to your body. And this single biological fact, it perfectly explains why traditional talk therapy often fails to resolve that deep body-level anxiety. Trying to talk your brain out of a panic state is honestly like trying to stop a tidal wave with words. You're fighting a massive biological current. If we actually want to change how we feel, we have to change the inputs coming from the body, up. And the anatomical backbone of this entire operation is the vagus nerve. It's known as the wanderer, and you can think of it as this biological master cable. It weaves all the way from your brainstem right down through your heart, into your lungs, and all the way into your gut. It's actively controlling your resting heart rate, your digestion speed, and, crazy enough, even your cellular inflammation levels. It's the ultimate hidden mechanism. Part 2, the architecture of survival. To understand how this works, we look to Dr. Stephen Porges, who discovered that our autonomic nervous system is basically built like an evolutionary time machine. It operates in a really strict biological hierarchy. So the newest mammalian part of the system governs social engagement and feeling safe. But when that fails to protect us, we instantly drop down to the older fight-or-flight sympathetic system. And if we face an extreme, inescapable threat, we drop straight to the oldest reptilian basement of our biology, which is total immobilization and metabolic shutdown, freeze mode. This brilliantly illustrates what we call the vagal brake. Imagine your healthy, well-regulated nervous system detects a sudden stressor. Let's say a really harsh email from your boss. Instantly, the vagal brake smoothly applies itself. It calms your heart rate, stops that full cascade into biological panic, and, crucially, keeps your highly evolved prefrontal cortex totally online so you can actually respond rationally. Which brings us to heart rate variability, or HRV. You've probably heard of it, but really it's the ultimate biological proxy for your vagal tone. If you have high HRV, it means your vagal brake is super strong. Your biology is incredibly resilient and dynamically flexible. But a low HRV, that means your system is sluggish. It's a clue that you're easily trapped in hypervigilance, or worse, that profound biological shutdown we just talked about.
Part 3. The Invisible Threat Detector.
So how does your body actually know when to brake? Enter the mechanism of neuroception, operating completely below your conscious awareness. This is your body's hidden radar system. It is constantly scanning. It catches the subtle microexpression on your boss's face, a fractional shift in your partner's tone of voice, or just the general energy of a crowded room. And it triggers a profound biological cascade before you can even form a single conscious thought. And here's the really wild part. Because we're mammals, our absolute first line of defense is not aggression. It's actually social connection. Before you fight or flee, your nervous system first looks for safety in the faces and voices of other people. It's a profound phenomenon that directly links our underlying physiological biology to the quality of our relationships. Your nervous system is constantly, silently asking everyone around you, "Are you safe? Can you help me regulate?" Part 4. When the system glitches. But what happens when this brilliant system adapts to the wrong environment? When the architecture of a nervous system is built for survival in an unpredictable or traumatic early environment, it actually adapts perfectly to that danger. But in doing so, it never fully develops the biological muscle to regulate and rest. The vagal brake remains incredibly weak. So the system just defaults to survival states, creating this chronic body-level anxiety that simply doesn't match your present reality. For some people, this biological glitch manifests as something called somatosensory amplification. Basically, because the nervous system is stuck on high alert, it turns its own heightened sensitivity against itself.
Every minor, totally benign change, like a normal little flutter in your heart rate or a tiny twinge in your digestion, gets amplified into an agonizing alarm bell. It literally convinces your brain that a severe health threat is happening right this very second.
Which leads us to a fascinating and honestly critical medical paradox when it comes to some of the most popular therapeutic interventions we use today. Seriously, can focusing on your body actually make things worse? The short answer is yes. This is exactly why forced mindfulness or those unstructured body scans can drastically backfire for highly sensitive people. By hyper-focusing on the body, you can actually trigger a feedback loop that spikes your sympathetic arousal. It makes the anxiety worse. That's why body-based therapies like somatic experiencing absolutely have to be delivered in a highly customized, titrated manner. You have to gently introduce sensation to build up tolerance without completely flooding the nervous system.
Part 5. Rewiring your biological code.
Now for the most empowering revelation of this whole explainer. Decoding this hidden operating system reveals that its code is not permanently locked. Low vagal tone isn't a permanent sentence. It's just a current state that can change. Thanks to neuroplasticity, you aren't trapped. You don't have to just try and override an anxious nervous system with sheer mental willpower anymore. You can literally physically strengthen the vagus nerve's capacity to apply the brake. Think of it like a biological hardware upgrade. And science provides us with a definitive bottom-up toolkit to hack this system. By using specific physical inputs, we're talking cold exposure, slow rhythmic breath work, somatic movement, or get this, even just humming, you can actively change your state. You might be wondering, why humming? Well, because your vocal cords are literally directly connected to the vagus nerve. Doing these specific actions sends immediate signals of absolute safety straight up into your brainstem. But perhaps the most beautiful tool of all is co-regulation. We are fundamentally, biologically wired to heal through connection. Having a safe therapeutic relationship, or honestly just the presence of a calm, grounded partner, can quite literally act as an external vagal brake for a dysregulated nervous system. The exchange of safety signals means your calm nervous system can physically quiet mine. It's incredible. So what's the takeaway here? Ultimately, the goal is not to somehow eliminate your stress response entirely. A truly resilient operating system isn't one that never experiences stress. No, it's an operating system that possesses dynamic flexibility. It can turn the stress response up to survive a genuine real-world threat, and then seamlessly and rapidly dial it right back down so you can digest, recover, and connect with the people around you. We have to start treating every symptom as a clue and every habit as a signal. You are not broken. Your biology is simply adapting. And with these bottom-up tools, you finally have the power to restore your vagal tone and hack the ultimate machine. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I want to leave you with one final, profound question. If your nervous system has spent your entire life silently adapting to survive your past, what is your body capable of once you finally signal that it's safe in the present?